and welcome to this episode of Playmakers ko Ravinder Hunia Tōku Ingoa. This weekend is the final UFC card of the year. UFC Fight Night goes down this Sunday, headlined by third-ranked heavyweight Derrick Lewis up against seventh-ranked Chris Daukus, and the Black Beast joins me now. Kia ora and hello, Derrick Lewis. Look, it must be absolutely buzzing where you are in the world right now, with it being the last UFC card of the year. How is Fight Week treating you?
Doing pretty good, I guess. I just got here a couple of hours ago, and it's windy, it's raining. It's pretty chilly right now. And it was like 80 degrees in Houston. And so I come to Vegas, I think it's like almost 30 degrees. So it's completely different time change, weather change.
Well, hopefully things start looking a bit better out the window as the week goes on.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, I can make my weekend really great, or I can make it really bad. It's up to me. You know, I believe that I can get the win, and so it's up to me to dictate what type of weekend I want to have.
This is very, very true. And on that note, in terms of your preparations, Derrick, how have they been going? And, you know, what are the things you've really been wanting to work on?
Just work on my footwork. That's my last fight. Was one of the things that I was lacking is my footwork and getting in on my opponent, setting stuff up. You know, I just wanted to focus on that a lot more, and my conditioning always.
I mean, do you enjoy training conditioning? Because it's so tough.
No, I don't like training, period. You know, I hate training. I hate fighting 5 rounds. I hate that. And I prefer 3 rounds all day long. But they wanted me to do another 5-rounder. I said, okay, fine. Yeah, I just got to train a little more then.
Yeah, they keep throwing you these 5-rounders. They really do.
Yeah, I know. I'm over it.
In terms of your opponent, though, Chris Daukus, obviously you've run the tape back and you probably know him pretty well. He's 7th ranked in the heavyweight division, on a little bit of a tear at the moment as well. What do you make of him as a fighter?
I guess you could say all of us are tough guys. I believe he's tough. He's a tough opponent. He got good hands. He's got a little speed to him, and that's about it. You know, he's a heavyweight. That's what he have an advantage of in every fight. You know, we all got 50-50 chance to throw leather, and some lanes any one of us could go out. It doesn't matter.
And that's always a big problem when fighters are up against yourself. Derrick is getting clocked with one of those hits that could send you into next week.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm overdue. I get at least 2 knockouts a year. You know, so I'm past due now. It's time for a knockout.
Well, my next question was going to be, what did you want to showcase in this fight the most? You know, what do you want to show off that you've worked on in this camp? Is that it?
It's going to be my speed. I believe my speed will show in the first. I could say for sure 100% is the first minute of the fight. You'll see my speed. Now, I can't tell you about the rest of the 24 minutes, but the first minute, you will see speed for sure.
Well, perhaps maybe that first minute is all you'll need. Fingers crossed that it won't have to go for the rest of the time.
All's willing, yes.
Look, you're a 2-time title contender, and you didn't get the result that you would have wanted in that last fight against Cyril Gane. But do you think that you are next in line for the winner of that title shot between Cyril and Francis Ngannou?
I believe so, since it was an interim title fight. Me and Ngannou was supposed to fight. I believe so. It's either out of me or Stipe. But either way, that I would like to fight Stipe pretty soon. It's just because there's a guy that I never fought, and he's top 5 opponent. You know, I fought just about everyone in the top 5 in a fight after this fight that, God willing, that I could get through Chris Daukus. And I would like to fight Stipe sometime soon.
Actually, yeah, come to think of it, you've fought both Cyril and Francis Ngannou in the past, and you haven't faced Stipe. You know, what is it about this fight that, you know, attracts you to it, besides the fact that you've never faced them before?
Oh, it's just, that would be about it. I don't believe that something's weak about him or anything like that. I believe he's still got a tough opponent. All of us, I believe, are tough. You know, I don't look past none of my opponents. I don't look past no man in this division. So I believe we all have a puncher's chance. And just some guy that I didn't fight before. You know, I don't believe that I'm better than him or anything like that. I just want to just have a name like him on my resume. That's all.
You talk about fighting, you know, so many people. To be exact, you've been fighting in the UFC since 2014. That's 7 years, and you're coming up to 23 fights in the UFC. So what is your secret to longevity? Because it doesn't look like you're going to stop anytime soon.
I don't know. It's something wrong with me, I guess. You know, I haven't even thought about that. I don't know. I haven't even think that it's been that long. I mean, usually guys don't, in the heavyweight division, don't last that long.
No.
Usually they get punch drunk or something like that. Or maybe that's the reason why I got the record now, because I've been here so long. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't take too much damage.
I mean, when you think back to 2014 compared to now, you know, how would you describe your journey, and perhaps what are the things that, you know, you've learned and evolved with over the years?
Just go out there and really have fun and don't put too much pressure on yourself. You know, like back then I used to put a lot of pressure on myself. And it didn't like end well for me, like most of the cases. Even though I won the fight, but like the toll that it took on my mind and for fight nights and stuff like that during fight week and fight day, it just took a big toll on me. Like I was like really drained. And I would go back and look back on those fights. It was like I shouldn't have put that much pressure on myself. And I put a lot of pressure on myself this last fight, and I felt like I shouldn't have never did that. I should have enjoyed the whole moment of fighting in my hometown and fighting for the title and stuff like that. But I didn't. I put so much pressure, and it just like it took a toll on me big time.
Oh, for civilians like myself, I don't blame you. You know, UFC is such a huge stage, so many eyes on you, and I can see why you would put that amount of pressure on you, if not about the fight, about the environment. So how do you try?
It got stronger over the years. It's even more popular now than it was, 7 years ago. So it's like even more popular now. It's got more eyeballs and everything, a lot more endorsements and stuff like that we have opportunities to get now.
How did you have to rectify it? Do you feel you're in a better space now?
Oh, I believe I am. I'm already feeling like completely different, like relaxed and just feeling like a born again guy now. Feel like I'm reborn now. So it's like different. Everything is feeling different this fight week.
I think one thing that I know myself as a UFC fan, really, I do admire about you is that you're so genuine. Like when you see your personality in the octagon or even on social media or anything like that, it feels like you're so just genuinely you, which is also something that can be lost on a stage, you know, like the UFC. Is that something that's important to you, to always stay true to yourself?
Yes, for sure. Like I tell people all the time also, it's like I'm not trying to be the best fighter in the world. I don't want to be the best fighter in the world. I just want to be me and make money. So to me, I really look at it like it's a job. So I mean, clocking in, clocking out. That's it. And like I'm being myself. I don't care if people like what I say. I don't. I'm say whatever I want, and that's going to be the end of it.
Finally, Derrick, before I let you go, what does the win against Chris mean for you and moving forward for 2022?
A win for me would mean that I could go ahead and move forward and get the fight that a lot of fans want to see, me and Stipe, and and have another title shot at the end of the year next year.
Nice. That sounds promising, and hopefully everything works out for you in the end. Thank you so much for joining us, Derrick Lewis.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Now, also featuring on this card is another heavyweight treat with Auckland-born Justin Tafa. First of all, before we get started, I wanted to give you a happy belated birthday, celebrating a birthday while in camp. How's it going?
No, it's going good. You know, I think I'm waiting for my present on the weekend. So I'm stoked. I'm just stoked to be here in Vegas and make it here safely.
It's the last UFC card of the year, UFC Fight Night, which means if you're eager to see the last bit of UFC action for 2021, this is the card you're going to be watching. So no pressure. But how have preparations been going against your opponent, Harry Hunsucker?
Considering all the obstacles that you have to go through these days, especially down under where it's a lot more strict than the rest of the world, it's gone pretty good. Like, I have to be pretty grateful for the training I did get in. I had to go get my visa at a different state, and then I couldn't go back to my home state, so I went to another state to do the rest of my camp kind of things. But it all worked out in the end, I think, and kind of worked out for a reason, I guess.
Still, it's the added stress that you probably don't need.
Yeah. Obviously, I would have preferred staying in one state, but nah, makes it for a better story.
Yeah. The decision didn't go your way against Ravinder in your last fight. So I'm guessing there's maybe not a bit of redemption, but things that you maybe want to tweak for this fight. What are the things that you learned from the Ravinder fight? Because there were great moments. You very well and truly touched them up. So what did you learn from that fight to bring into this one?
A lot of like logistical things as well. Like, we come in on Wednesday or Thursday, and then we fought on the Saturday, and it kind of like, I was still kind of a bit delayed, I was still a bit jet lagged. So we spoke about that. We come here earlier, and then obviously I expected him to grapple. I didn't expect him to really strike, and he did stand up and strike more. So instead of kind of guessing what he was gonna do, we just worked everything that we could do. So he fights out kind of our style of fighting instead of me just guessing what they're doing and then just steering away from some of the things that we should have worked on, which was obviously the striking and the circling and that.
Yeah, being less reactive and a bit more prepared, I guess. Look, Harry's only made his debut earlier this year, but despite that, what do you make of him as a fighter?
I've seen a few of his fights, and he's, like a very entertaining fighter, likes to throw some hands, but I don't know. I just feel like he hasn't swung against many Islanders or people from down under. They love that kind of brawl style. So the fight back's a different kind of story when, it's easier to throw hands at people that don't want to throw back, but it's the guys that throw back that back you up.
Yeah, there's heavyweights and then there's you guys.
Yeah.
Look, Tai Tuivasa was the one that baptized Harry into the division earlier this year, KO in the very first round, spectacular fashion. Have you been able to speak to Tai at all about this fight, seeing as you've faced the same opponent, and how is your relationship with him?
We're kind of chill, me and Tai. Like, we're obviously different kind of fighters, and I didn't want to go off his fight because everyone has their days where they make a mistake and that. So to go off that last fight, it's man, got to be a fool kind of thing. So we just talked about just how prep and everything went, and then we just chilled. He just wished me luck and happy birthday, and then left.
Well, speaking of Tai, he's had reason to celebrate himself. He's been elevated to 11th in the heavyweight division now after a great win at UFC 269. Did you watch that fight, and what did you make of it?
Yeah, man, I was lucky. Kai Kara France gave me some tickets, and me and my brothers went and watched the fight. Man, it was just like beautiful work from Tai. He showed his maturity in the octagon and took his time and counted wisely and got the goods, man. He deserves it. He's been away from his son for the whole year, and now he gets to go back and see his son and have a good Christmas. So, man, I'm stoked for him. Yeah,
he totally deserved it. He's doing so well in the division at the moment. For you, though, is this an opportunity for you to maybe not prove yourself because you are a proven fighter, but an opportunity to, show the heavyweight division that you are a threat? Yeah,
man, 100%. I feel like I haven't really shown what I'm really capable of kind of thing. And I fought fights and I fought for the crowd kind of thing. And I think this time around, I'm just going to fight the fight that I should fight, like the fight that gets me the win and then the fight that kind of showcases my skills and that, because I know people are going to be shocked after this fight and going to be looking now and turning and be like, damn, he just doesn't brawl kind of thing.
Well, what is it? Is that the main focus for you? Is that what you're really trying to hone in on, is not getting in the brawl and sticking to the plan?
Yeah, obviously I love a brawl, but it's kind of go time to win now, kind of thing. And these brawls are a toss of a coin, you know. Like, and I'm not about that, you know. If sometimes I have to fight the boring fights to get the win, then that's the way it's got to be. But the crowd know that I love to bring fights, so you know that the fans know I love to bring a brawl, so it kind of doesn't diminish you know what kind of fighter I am. But some days, you know, and you got to win more.
Look, you obviously fight out of Brisbane in Australia, but you were born right here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, which is amazing. You know, a lot of people won't know that if they don't dig into your past and things like that. So talk to us a little bit about being raised in Auckland, New Zealand, and then your eventual transition to Australia.
I was born in Auckland, and I was raised in Brisbane and Logan for like all my primary years and all my childhood. But then my intermediate and high school days were all spent in New Zealand, and man, it gave me thick skin moving back to Auckland. You know, people don't beat around the bush. So some kids, man, and got to be around a lot of islanders again, which was a big wake up call, because back then in Logan there wasn't many islanders, and I was the big boy kind of thing. And then I went home and I was like, these boys are massive. And it was good. It really built my character kind of thing, and taught me a lot about social skills as well, and I don't know, kind of humbled me. So big ups to Ravinder, Auckland. I'll be back soon. Green Jades, I'll be back soon.
Do you still have family based here in New Zealand?
Yeah, I still got a couple of aunties and a few cousins left, but majority of my family are in Australia, are in Brisbane. But all my you know, my long life mates are all back in Auckland, you know. So when the chance comes and the borders open, man, I'm back there in Auckland and sharing a few beers with the boys. Yeah,
fingers crossed that's going to be, you know, more convenient for people coming in the country moving forward, please. Another fighter that, you know, did a similar move to you was that of Mark Hunt, and I know he's been quite influential for your MMA career. Been around for years, so maybe talk to us a little bit about how influential he's been, not only for you, but his legacy that he's left for Pacifica fighters.
Oh man, he opened the doors, you know, and made it possible for us to not just prosper in boxing, but also all the other combat sports like kickboxing and MMA. It made it a real goal kind of thing when he won the K1. And a kid from South Auckland, man, if a kid from South Auckland can make it, anyone from, you know, any side of or any side of New Zealand can make it. And he did it with like humility too, you know, and he didn't do it loud mouthing around. So he got a lot of success just by walking the walk kind of thing. And it's just he was a good role model for a lot of future fighters to come and see, mate. If this guy is, you know, just walking around and his humble self is a K1 champ, top 5 heavyweight in the UFC at the time kind of thing, then why not me? And when I was in the camps with Mark, that's what he kind of pushed for us was, if I can do it, why not you? You know, if I can do it, why not you? He kept implementing that, and he made these goals a lot more attainable than it was, you know, because I know Kiwis, the lights are too bright sometimes, you know, well, that's just the mindset kind of thing. And he took us around the world. He brought us here to Vegas when he fought in UFC 200, and that was a big wake-up call, you know. He's like, man, breathe this in. If you can do that, if you can breathe this in and visualize yourself here, then you're halfway there kind of thing. And he took me, Tai, Carlos, my little brother Junior, you know, Tyson Pedro was here, and now look where all the boys are at kind of thing. They're all in the UFC. And always got big props for Mark, and always got mad love for him, man.
It feels like, I mean, not typical Pacific culture, but I'm Māori, and it kind of it resonates because it's sort of like, you know, it does take a village. And I feel like with Pacific community is very similar. How was it for you to go through this UFC journey with like-minded people as opposed to chasing this dream on your own?
Yeah, man, it made it a lot easier kind of thing, because obviously we all transitioned into UFC and you know, like Tai first, or Tyson first, and Tai, and then myself and Carlos. It made it like a smoother transition in some sense, because they were rising at different levels, and then I could could go off that same trajectory, so, and learn off those lessons that they were learning too, kind of thing. So, yeah, a lot.
Speaking of your brother, you've mentioned his name, Junior. How is he? And, you know, what is it looking like for him for 2022 to finally get his shot? Yeah,
Junior's doing good. He's been partying with Tai.
Good man.
Yeah, well, the last time he came here, he was only 19, so he wasn't allowed to go out. So this time he's making use of it, and he had a contenders fight all lined up and everything, and then just other states were locked out. We were locked out of other states in Australia, and we got in the US Embassy where we are in Brisbane, so he couldn't fly to other states to get his visa. And it was just terrible timing, and he ended up not being able to get a fight. But they said that they'll reschedule it for next year, hopefully, and hopefully by the end of next year he'll be in the UFC.
Yeah, well, that sounds really, really promising, and what better sparring partners to have but you and the rest of your brothers as well, I'm guessing. Look, on the card, UFC Fight Night, Derrick Lewis is headlining against Chris Daukus. How do you see that fight going?
Unless there's one of the boys from back home or something, I don't watch any of these fights. I didn't really care. Like, after Kai fought, we left the arena, man. Like, there's like no interest at all. Unless I know them personally or something, like, it's just wasting my time, man. I'd rather be at home or video calling my son or something. No disrespect to them. They're good fighters, but I just don't care, kind of thing. Respectfully.
It's fair enough. And especially you've got your own fight around the corner, so your focus is very much elsewhere.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, look, I wish you all the very best. Aotearoa will be watching, and we are praying for the best, and Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Thanks.
Whānau, you can catch both Justin Tafa and Derrick Lewis this Sunday on channel 61, that's ESPN2. UFC Fight Night starts from 10 a.m, the main card from 1 p.m. Don't miss it. Hei kona mai.